Hello, you lovely people. Today I'm going to be discussing the PTB to Live patch notes. I've already recorded this and I realized my mic was muted, so I recorded like 13 minutes of yapping and then my mic was not working. I've done this so many times, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, but I'm going to try and summarize it up a bit quicker because I already know what I want to say. The Mori update, very good change. They made it so the pink and green Mori are still existing, and they made the yellow Mori base kit, and they'll be refunding everybody 1,000,000 blood points for that. I feel like they should give us a bit more, because we definitely have a lot more than 1,000,000 worth of yellow Moris. At least I do. Skull Merchant, they decided to buff slash nerf slightly. I already saw people complaining about this because everyone's complaining about Skull Merchant, but to be fair, even in the PTB when she was the weakest killer in the game, even weaker than Freddy and Trapper, people were still saying that she was too strong and she needs to be nerfed. So I don't think anybody is ever going to be satisfied with this killer because they have so much hatred for her. The Skull Merchant gains 5% haste when a survivor is scanned within 5 seconds of placing a drone or changing its rotation. This means that the Skull Merchant will only get haste if she herself enables it. People across the map getting scanned will no longer give her haste. So if say you get scanned across the map by a drone that she placed like 30 seconds ago, it's not going to give her any haste. She will only get haste if you are the person that got scanned within 5 seconds of her placing the drone or within her rotating it. And she is only going to rotate the ones that she can really see, so if she's probably going to be the one chasing you, you know? Increased hindered effect when scanned by a drone to 8% was 5%. I think that is a good change because 5% is nothing. It's 6% on unknown and you can barely feel it. So that's a good change. Um, Increased drone rotation speed to 95 degrees per second was 85. This is good for only having one scan line because one scan line is absolutely horrible, but this will make it a little less horrible. This change, though, they decrease the movement speed when deploying a drone or inspecting the radar to 4.4, which is 110, instead of being 115. This is a bad change because she was already like that in the original PTB, and everyone found it was too clunky, so they removed it, but they just added it back, so we'll see that. Good counterplay for survivors, though. Fast faults are no longer detected by drones, so you can fast fault freely. They decided to buff Hillbilly here, which is kind of crazy because he's already top 3, and the nerfs that they did to him will probably not make him fall that far down, and especially with this buff back up, it's not going to be that big of a change. I don't think anybody was asking for these changes to Hillbilly. I was looking in the forums. They decided to rework distortion change, so now the tokens recharge over 30 seconds while in chase, up to a maximum of 2. This is how I think distortion should have been reworked. I would even be fine with it having 3 stacks with how they made it recharge in chase instead of outside of chase, but you know, it's up to them how they do it. I think it was a good change overall. They nerfed Zancians back to what it was, but they gave it a new effect of having a survivor's aura revealed for 8 seconds when they dropped a pallet. So clown mains will be happy about that. They nerfed the really broken corrective action stacking with hyperfocus and made it so it only reverts missed skill checks into good skill checks. However, it now has map wide range and reveals the aura of a survivor who misses the skill check. I think this is going to be good for removing pull away skill checks. I just don't know if it's going to become meta. And then they nerfed Deathbound from the PTB, so now it deactivates when you lose a health state instead of when you get hooked. All of these changes are good. However, for perk wise, I'm going to discuss 2 things, or killers and then perks. Perk wise, they didn't address Quick Gambit being really strong. It basically it deactivates when you get hit for 60 seconds. However, while you were in chase, if you can prevent that first hit, then the survivors will be doing gens 5% faster. So this will be going great with like perks like Sprint Burst, Finesse, and stuff like that, which will make it really strong. However, what will make this problematic is the change they didn't do to the Teamwork Power of 2 perk that makes people run 5% faster. Used to be the counterplay is when someone got hit, it would deactivate the perk. That was the killer's counterplay. All they would have to commit to doing a slightly longer chase, but once they got that first hit, then the chases would go back to normal. However, now you're probably going to have to go through 3 health states before you can get it down, and they're going to be moving 5% faster because you're going to take a hit on one person, they'll still have the 5% speed, then their teammate that's full health will probably take the second hit, and then you'll have to hit them a third time to actually down someone. And so it's just going to be a huge waste of time for the killer. And if both the survivors have quick gambit and they're moving 5% faster, it's also going to make it so that they're not getting hit as fast because of that speed. So quick gambit combined with these perks are going to be insane. And especially if both survivors are in chase and they both have quick gambit, then it's 10% faster gens. And that stacks with deja vu, resilience, all these other perks overzealous. I think it's just kind of nutty that those perks weren't changed when they seem super problematic when stacked together, but by themselves they probably don't seem problematic. So I don't know if that was really thought of. The thing I'm disappointed in is the unknown changes. There is nothing here. However, someone was like, does this mean the unknown changes are going through? And the dev says, we just want to confirm for you that the movement speed change was reverted. It just isn't mentioned here. So that means he won't be getting the faster slowdown when he tries to like edge his UVX to delay the spawn of the hallucination, which is great. But they didn't address the two add-ons that they gutted to the ground, which were his most favorited and liked add-ons, and were not at all overpowered or anything like that. They made Blurry Photo 15% base kit. However, instead of nerfing the add-ons so it's still able to combine to what its former glory of like what it was before, they nerfed it down to 15% instead of 50. So now the maximum amount you can have for after teleport is 30% instead of 50. So there's still a 20% nerf when you're running this add-on. And that's not the worst of it. Vanishing Box has a new side effect, which I'm fine with. They wanted to make clones take like longer to spawn, so I was like, oh yeah, maybe like 10-20% longer for clones to spawn as a side effect for running this add-on. No, they made it 80%, which adds 36 seconds to an already 45-second timer. That's almost a minute and a half per clone. And because they're taking so long now, I was watching my friend Honest Panda. He had made a video talking about these changes that he tested in the PTB. He was barely able to keep one clone up, let alone two, to the maximum of 4 that you can have up, because the survivors were able to remove the clones way faster than he could place them, which just feels really, really, really bad, right? That just does not feel good. Having the clones be slower than survivors can get rid of them when they already take 4 seconds to get rid of, which is basically nothing. It seems like a really bad change. Uh, I don't think taking a minute and a half between clones is gonna be what that add-on needed. I think 10-20%, so it adds like maybe 5-10 seconds would have been fine, but they didn't address this. So now you're honestly better off not running the add-on at all, because it is arguably more of a nerf than it is any benefit. And that seems really bad. Why would you run an add-on that nerfs you? We're not trying to run beam add-ons in like the green tier, you know, like those are for the brown add-on slots. And even then those add-ons are never used. So I'm really sad that they didn't say anything about the Blurry Photo or Vanishing Box, because those two were my favorite add-ons, and they nerfed both of them to the point where they are useless compared to what they were before, which is really sad. For twins, they didn't touch anything about them. People were asking for the cooldown for how long the survivors can hold Victor to be reduced to 20 seconds instead of 30, because on release it was 10 seconds, and then they nerfed it to 30, and everyone argued the middle ground would be 20. That would be perfect. And multiple people have said that. The twins main, Linksy, who plays lots of twins, also said that. But to this day, they didn't say, there's literally not a single note here about twins. They've just been completely forgotten alongside Unknown. Unknown was forgotten. They addressed something about him, but overall, I'm disappointed in the Unknown and twins changes. These changes, the Mori change is great. I like the base kit Mori. Skull Merchant is still going to be hated. Hillbilly is still going to be S tier. Yeah, I don't know. I really, I'm really, I'm perplexed with this change, because it's both good and bad, and I really don't know how to feel. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'll read what you guys have to say. Maybe I'll respond to some of them, whatever. If I give it a like, that means I know I liked what you said. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm probably going to be going live later today. I recorded this off stream just because I have some stuff to do before stream. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys.